Okay, so welcome to another session of this series. In this question, we're solving question 8 from the book. Question 8 from the book. Now, it says in the Venn diagram, the shaded portion represents which expression? Which of these expressions represents the Venn diagram? Wow. Let's take this one by one. Okay, so I want to solve this question in reverse. So we solve the question by looking at the given answers, then we compare it to the Venn diagram. So I just transferred the whole diagram here so you can see it properly. So this is the same as this without the shaded parts. Okay, cool. Now what do we have? The first one, it says Q complement union bracket open P intersection R. So let's see if this correctly represents this. So this is what we're going to do. It says Q complement, right? Q complement mean everything that is outside of this circle, because this circle belongs to Q. So everything that's outside of this circle is Q. Everything outside of this circle is Q complement. Is Q complement. But before we do that, let's take care of P intersection R. P intersection R means what is between P and R. So that will be this section. This section is P intersection R, and that P intersection R enters into Q. This portion is Q, right? So this portion is Q. So, and then this portion is not shaded over here, so this cannot be the answer. This expression cannot be the answer because this section enters into this, because you're gonna, if we continue, we will have to find the union, which means we have to find everything outside of Q and then join into the intersection of P and R. So that does not work. So the first one is out. Now let's go to the second one. Which is B. Let's go to B. Now B says Q complement intersection P intersection R. So what does this mean? Q complement here means everything that is outside the circle. So it means everything outside this circle means everything here and here and here and here. Okay, so now that means this portion is not part. This portion right here cannot fall into it. So we need to find intersection between these. Between Q complement P and then R. So that is everything outside of Q and then P and R. And as we notice, P and R already enter into Q, which is this portion. So this portion cannot be part of it. That means it will have to be somewhere here, right? But then here we don't have anything shaded right here. And also this side falls into Q, which is not a part of Q complement. So this will not work. So that also is out. Now let's go to the next one. The next one says Q intersection bracket open P union R. Okay, this looks good. Let's find out if that works. Q intersection bracket open P union R. P union R. So first we need to find P union R, because that's in a bracket, right? P union R means everything in these circles, just 2 circles. So everything here falls into this, right? Then you need to find that there are dots and the intersection of Q. So what is in Q and also in this union, right? So that means we are going to find, if we do that, let's do that again. We see we have, this is P union R intersection Q. That means this portion will be shaded. This is the only portion that will be shaded. So this one also does not work. This also does not work. So let's go and then we cancel that out. We are left with the last one. So obviously that will be the answer, but then let's prove that that is actually the answer. Let's prove it. Let's prove it. Okay, so let's write it down. We have Q complement intersection bracket open P union R. So we need to find this first, right? Okay, P union R means everything here and everything here together, right? Then after you find everything here together, we need to find everything else that is outside of Q. Everything else outside of Q. Everything else outside of Q. So everything outside of Q. Outside of Q. Right? So all the signs outside of Q. And then we need to find intersection with P union R. As you can see, the answer is coming out clearly now. So everything here is outside of Q, right? Everything is outside of Q. And then this side is also outside of Q. And this is also outside of Q. And then everything outside in this box is also outside of Q, right? Everything here is outside of Q. But the question says intersection P union R. And then as we said before, P union R is right here. So if you look at that, we see that the things that are coming between Q complements, which is everything outside of Q, and then P union R, which is this one right here, the things that are common are just these ones which are shaded right here. So that is the answer for this question. That is the answer for this question. Thank you very much. See you again next time. Bye.